Hey guys, Paul here with Patek. In this video, I'm going to show you why I swapped out my PC fans to a set of Noctua PWM fans. And I switched out from these Be Quiet Silent Wings 3 fans. And, you know, spoiler alert, I paid for these fans with my own money. 3 of the Noctua fans are about 150 bucks, something like that. And I'll put links in the description for you, but I just couldn't handle the, the high-pitched fan noise from these things anymore. It just didn't dawn on me that, these things were not as good as what they were touted to be. But the Noctuas, are just amazing. I mean, you can barely hear them. It's incredible. That's what this video is going to be about. Let's take a look. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this Noctua NF A12 by 25 PWM fan, and there's also an NLA fan, it's ULA, ultra low noise, ULN fan, but I happen to have the PWM version. I think this is probably one of the most popular Noctua fans, and so I'm going to show you a little bit about what I'm doing and why I'm doing and how I'm going to do it. So I wasn't happy with the noise from the Be Quiet fans, and so I did a little noise test, and now I'm going to swap these out. I'm going to take the Be Quiet fans out. I've already done a noise test on it, and then we'll put these ones in. And so, first things first, when you look at the Noctua fans, the first thing that you want to look for is the direction that the arrow is going. That's the direction the airflow is going. And if you look at the fan itself, when you have it in this configuration here, the blades are concave like this. That's the intake side. If you're looking at the fan like this and the blades look like they're the curvature of a bowl, that's the exhaust side. So what I'm going to do is mount these against my radiator like this. So the radiator will be over here, and the arrow gets sucked in here, and it'll be pushed through the rad here inside of the PC case. And then my fan on the rear of the case will suck the air out the back. And that's the game plan. So what I want to do is, according to the instructions from Noctua, they suggest taking these little tabs off, like so, and using this other gasket that comes with the fan. I'll just push this in place like so. This will take a second. So now this is going to give you an extra little bit of a seal between the fan and the radiator to help reduce vibration. And I'm going to install it with the same screws that are in the case now. If you're just installing this fan into the case, then Noctua supplies these rubber grommets, which will help insulate the noise even further, but I'm going to use the screws because, in all fairness, I'm trying to compare the Be Quiet fans to the Noctua fans, and the only difference is the screws will be the same, the difference will be the fans and the addition of this rubber gasket. And so that's the first step, is to get the fan set up and ready to go. And as you can see, the kit from Noctua comes with a whole plethora of adapters, so I don't think that's going to be a problem connecting up to my existing PC, which happens to be an i7 8700K. Yeah, and there's a little instruction manual here. So you can open that up, and it basically gives you the information that I just mentioned to you, gives you the different installations that you can do. So now you've seen how I'm going to install it. Let's do the installation. We'll do a sound test, and we'll take it from there, and then you can decide which configuration or which fans you think are better. Okay, part 2, or the continuation. I'm just going to use one of these little drill drivers and a pretty standard Phillips screwdriver. I got my 2 fans all ready to go here, and so first step is to there's 8 screws on the front of the case. There you can see these are Be Quiet Silent Wings 3, so we'll see how they compare. Right now I have these opposite to how I'm going to install the Noctua fans, but I'm going to play around. I may try them both ways, but we'll see. So, and just so that you know, either way doesn't really matter, whether they're sucking air through the radiator or pushing it through this way, the pressure is the same. So really what I'm looking to see is how well these fans work, how low noise they are, and if this extra insulation is going to give me a big difference or not. So we'll see. So let's get to it. And so I'll speed this up a little bit for you so I don't bore you to death. Okay, so what you can see now is I've got the two Noctua fans installed, and I have the extra gasket between the radiator and the fans. Now, maybe this is going to work, maybe not. Maybe that gasket would be better between the frame and the fans on this side. I don't know. I'm just going to test it and find out. And the only other thing that I had to do was I took out a couple of these extra slots, drive slots here, so that I could run the wires through and connect to the cables on this side a little easier. And that was fairly straightforward. Two connectors right here, and that's all there was to it. Plug them in, and that's the front end of the case done. And now I can turn my attention to the fan on the back side. Okay, so that's it for the backside fan. It was pretty straightforward. As you can see, I used the little rubber tabs here. They help to further insulate you from the noise, insulate the fan from the case so there's no vibration. Pretty straightforward. The wire just came out through the top on this side and then into the connector that the Be Quiet fan was connected into. So that's pretty much it. Now I can pop the cases back on, plug it back in, and we'll do a little sound test, and we'll see what happens. So to wrap this up, you know, I have to say I'm not a sound engineer, and in fairness to Be Quiet, these fans are 2 or 3 years old now, maybe a little bit older, but it just seems to me like I don't believe that, you know, both of these fans, the bearings are burned out, and that's what's causing the noise. I can understand if one fan went, but, you know, when I had these things installed, they are just not as quiet as the Noctua fans, and you can hear it in the examples I've given you. So for my money, I mean, I'm going to stick with Noctua from now on. The extra gasket that comes with it, I think the fans are fairly well built. Maybe in a year or so I'll come back and do a long-term study, but right now I'm quite happy because I can't hear that PC anymore, and that makes me very happy. So if you found this video useful, hit the subscribe and like buttons, and that's it for this one, and I will see you again in the not too distant future. Take care now.